This portion of Money Matters Boston is brought to you by Delaware Investments.
Welcome back to Money Matters. I am pleased to introduce Ned Gray, Chief Investment Officer, Global and Equity Manager over at Delaware Investments, over $1 billion under management. So welcome aboard.
Thanks, I'm glad to be here.
Tell me a little bit about Delaware and maybe how Delaware differentiates themselves from all the competition.
Delaware has a distinctive multi-boutique structure where each individual investment team is focusing on a specific product that they manage well, and that the central management really is there to facilitate that process and to make them better at what they do, rather than imposing a top-down central approach to the investments that are being made.
Okay. I know that Barron's has actually rated Delaware Investments the top mutual fund manager over the past year, number 2 over the past 10. You manage, the international side of the market. I'm hearing again and again from my clients, Dave, why should I be investing internationally? Why don't you tell us why Delaware thinks you should be?
It's a difficult question, especially with the headlines coming out of the Eurozone, questions about Chinese growth slowing. To us, it's really a matter of taking a long-term focus on what really drives values going forward for the market overall. The question is, where is global growth going in the next 10 years? And if you think it's going to be coming just from the United States, then that's probably the only place you want to be. But frankly, I think that's a pretty narrow approach to take.
Okay.
Growth is coming from a lot of different sources. But for us especially, it's a matter of focusing on individual companies that can take advantage of the opportunities that are out there, not necessarily focusing just on the macro side.
So companies versus countries.
That's right.
So you've mentioned companies. I know people tune into this show to get the hot topic, the hot stock. Why don't you give me some names that you see value in the international front?
Well, I can give you a good illustration of the kinds of things that people don't like in the market. I mean, exposure to the Eurozone clearly has not been working. Euro stocks have underperformed. But within that, you see a lot of great opportunities in companies like Teleperformance, which is a French company, the global leader in outsourced customer support services for phone companies and others. This is a company which is performing as well or better than its other global peers, has a broader geographic diversification, but is selling at a full 50% discount to the closest comparables that you can point to.
Okay. We talk a lot on this show about how politics has now become more portfolio planning than ever before. It's obviously going on, identically over in the EU right now. You've got 17 countries all trying to agree on anything. How does that affect how you manage money at Delaware?
For us, it again gets back to the company analysis that you've got to do.
Okay.
We don't have any greater perspective on the macro side. We don't think anyone has a clear picture of what's going to happen because of central bank intervention worldwide, but you can take a careful analytical approach to the companies that you're looking at, understand what distinctive competitive advantages they've got, and focus on the stocks that you think can perform well under a variety of different economic outcomes.
I know you're based, your team is based in Boston, but you're obviously investing internationally. How does Delaware cover that? They must have analysts that live in the countries, or again, how does that work?
We currently have a couple of our analysts living overseas, but we don't really rely on geographic location. Frankly, even in the modern age, air travel is not a particularly effective way or efficient way of going out and getting the information you need. But we do really focus on conversations with company managements. We do use the resources that are available to understand at the local level what's going on. But to us, global diversification is a key strength that we're looking for.
You mentioned global and value. Does that have anything to do with what's going on in the emerging market sector of the market? Some people say there's value there. Other people will tell you that it's so overgrown it's time to sell. What is your thought process in that aspect of investing?
We recognize that the emerging markets are likely to remain one of the key growth drivers for the global economy. However, in terms of individual company valuations, there are a lot of risks that are associated with that growth.
Sure.
Our preferred way to take advantage of that growth is to find developed market companies who have got the confidence that comes with a very highly developed legal structure, transparency, strong governance, strong management, take advantage of those competitive strengths to get access to some of the growth drivers that are existing outside of their domestic markets.
Well, I was just about to ask you, is there a certain sector to avoid? Would that be your sector to avoid right now?
It's hard to say there's a sector to avoid. I mean, our underlying theme is adversity drives opportunity, and the kinds of segments of the market that people most like to hate are probably the ones that have got all the bad news already priced in. So we treat that issue very, very carefully. Again, focusing on how individual companies can take advantage of weaknesses that's applying across their whole industry.
Ned, you've certainly made a compelling case to invest internationally. I wish we had more time. Again, you manage over $1 billion in assets, so it's been a privilege to have you on the show. Please come back again.
I'd be happy to. Thank you.
Again, Ned Gray, Delaware Investments. Stay tuned. There's more Money Matters coming your way in just a moment.